Yo, what's up? For years now, I heard about this game. About its challenging combat, beautiful world, how it's gonna cure your cancer if you play it, and if you don't, you might as well put down the controller and become a farmer. So last week, I decided to finally give it a shot and play it on stream. Went in completely blind, without looking up any guides or stuff like that. I wanted to see if it really lived up to the hype or if it was just. So let's see how that went. In case you are living under a rock, let me tell you what Hollow Knight is in a few words. It's an indie Metroidvania game developed by the folks at Team Cherry in South Australia. They started out on Kickstarter, raising funds to bring this game to life, and I have to say that they did a pretty good job. The atmosphere and general vibe is something out of a Tim Burton movie, and apparently everything has been hand-drawn by the developers. While that's cool and all, I'm more of a gameplay kinda dude, so let's talk about that. Starting out, you only have your sword, or nail as they call it, and a healing ability that you get in the very first few moments of the game. Other than that, there's no big objective, no big baddie that you know of, it's up to you to figure something out. Interacting with random objects and NPCs will slowly introduce you to a world filled with rich lore and interesting characters that point you in various directions. The map is both huge and small at the same time. In the beginning, most of it is locked due to lack of abilities to get across areas that you can clearly see how you could clear them, with a dash, with a wall jump, or a double jump. And you just turn around and try to figure out some other place that you can go to. In every new zone, you will walk around totally blind, because you have to find a cartographer that will sell you a rough sketch of the map each time. While this is good for the initial exploration phase, sometimes I'll finish the zone before I can find him, making the whole experience miserable, backtracking over and over again, trying to figure out places I haven't been to. And it doesn't even stop there. To be able to see yourself on the map, you have to use a specific charm. These charms are passive powers that you can equip a limited number of. Thus, being able to see yourself is a power trade-off, because you may be new and don't know where's what. Once you get familiar with the zones, the GPS charms becomes totally useless, which is a weird choice of punishing new players. That's the first few hours of the game, trying to navigate in various biomes, finding different abilities. The longer you explore, the better the game gets. And not because of player power, but because you have a lot more freedom of movement and you are able to tackle enemies in different ways instead of just sitting in front of them, poking them with your nail. During this time, you also start encountering some of the bosses scattered around the world, most of whom are challenging, but very forgettable. However, the ones that stood out will remain embedded in my memory. The first one would be the Hornet, which you meet in the second zone or something like that. The sound design of this fight is spectacular. She will do a different scream for every single attack she does, so you are able to quickly react to her actions and get out of the way. The second boss that I remember is the Soul Master in City of Tears. This was the very first boss that I struggled with for a while, and I loved every single second of it. When I finally managed to defeat it, he was like, "Psych, stage change, second phase bitch." This whole zone had me checking if it started raining outside multiple times. I can't explain how close the rain sounds in the game mimic the real sounds I hear on my roof whenever it's pouring outside. Top fucking notch. Moving further into the mid to end game, there wasn't that much that stood out. Only thing that did was me slowly losing my mind, looking at every single corner of the map, trying to figure out places that I haven't been to, because I felt so stuck in the same 5 to 6 zones that I had discovered up to that point. And the answer was a goddamn key. To unlock a sewer zone and get myself a double jump. After that, I got stuck again, but eventually managed to find the Dream Nail and unlock the final phases of the game, fighting the Dreamers, 3 mysterious masks that appeared on my map. But before that, if I praise the sound design thus far, the Dream Nail was not it. When you hold down the button to charge it up, you'll hear a shing, and if you let go at that moment, the attack won't go off. You have to press for an extra moment after you hear the sound for your attack to go off. This was such a sharp contrast from the previous fluid gameplay and sound design. It made me not want to use the nail at all, even if I probably needed to. The only times I've used it is because I had to activate something during parts of the progression. Now, back to the Dreamers. What I expected and what I got was very different. While going towards the first Dreamer in the City of Tears, I had to do the Watcher's Knights. A 6v1 encounter in a tight room where you have to fight 2 of them at a time, with a new one spawning as soon as another one dies. Fighting these dudes was a tough one. I'd say the second toughest fight I did in the game. They would roll and bounce around like Sonic on crack. I had to try multiple charm configurations to figure out how to get past them. It took me like 2 hours or so to kill them, and once I was done, I was looking forward to meeting the Dreamers. I was thinking, damn, these dudes before the boss were so tough. The Dreamer itself would be an awesome fight, but to my surprise and disappointment, once I got to the Dreamer, he was just that. A dude sleeping. You hit him once, you go into his dream, where he just sits around and doesn't do anything. You have to hit him a bunch of times, but that's it. He does not move. It felt like such a letdown after being pumped full of adrenaline from the previous fight. The other 2 Dreamers were like, whatever. One of them didn't even have a big fight that I can recall. It was just hidden in some spider lair. Again, it started out like there could have been an epic fight, but wasn't. The huge spider that was lurking around killed everybody else and captured me while the screen turned black. So there was that. After getting all the Dreamers, I finally unlocked the Temple of the Black Egg, a zone teased to you from the very beginning of the game, where you can see the entrance door, then during mid-game, a logo of the Hollow Knight appears right on top of it. This fucking guy, he had me in a chokehold for 4 goddamn hours. First few times, I couldn't even get past phase 1. Then I spent so much time fighting him in phase 2, to the point where the first one became a breeze, and I hit my head against phase 2 over and over and over again. Only got to phase 3 a handful of times, but that was enough to take home the win. And that's it. I became the Hollow Knight after that, and got trapped in the temple instead of him. The end. So, is this game really as great as people make it out to be? Kinda. I think it's one of those cult classics that get better the more you play it. Right now, I'm at 50% completion from what the HUD says. If there's still as much content as the game claims, with the powers I have unlocked so far, I can see how it would be a great experience. And I wish that I had these powers a lot earlier or from the get-go. After finishing the game, I looked up a bit more about it, and I have to say that I will definitely come back and properly finish it at some point, and probably get a good ending. If I had to compare the experience with something, I would definitely say the campaign in Hollow Knight felt a lot like the campaign in Path of Exile, where everybody sees it as the actual tutorial and the good gameplay is in the mapping system that comes after, or in this case, the DLC content probably. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like and subscribe for more gaming content. Also, be sure to share your thoughts on Hollow Knight in the comment section below. And until next time, I gotcha.